This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah. Then we'll be starting our next topic, that is material types customizing. The topics that we are going to cover in material types customizing, they are customization of new material types, material number range assignment, material status, and field selection control. Okay. So whenever we create a material, system will ask you to assign a material type. Okay. So when we are creating the material, a material assigning a material type is mandatory. So this material type will control a lot of functions like procurement type, whether it is internally produced or externally procured. What are the views relevant for maintenance? Okay, and external alphanumeric number assignment without check. Okay, and a type of inventory management, whether quantity wise or value wise it has to be updated or not. Okay, and assignment of an account category reference. Okay, field selection and screen sequence, this we will discuss, and other things. So all these things are controlled by this material type. So whenever we are creating a material, I'll log on to the system. Okay, so when we are creating the material, suppose if I select industry sector, now if you see here, you have here a lot of material types. All these material types will come from here, the list. If you go to SPRO, SAP reference IMG, scroll down, go to logistic general, okay, here material master, okay, here basic settings. Here if you open, here you have material types. If you open this here, define attributes of material types. If you open here, see all the material types are available here, all the material types. So let's take, I'll go to FERT material type, FERT. Okay, this is a FERT material type, finished products. Select the material type, go to details. If you go to details, you will see all the functions over here. Okay, so we will discuss about the most important ones. So here the first one is this is a material type, description. Okay, and the field reference means which field you want to make mandatory, which field you want to make optional, which field you want to hide. Those things are controlled by field reference. This we will discuss in today's class later point of time. Okay, now the next one is explant material status. So when you are creating the material, if you want to make this explant material status as default, you can maintain here. Suppose if I create a material, if I start creating a material, suppose if I use FERT, select views, suppose if I select basic data 1 and 2, okay, suppose if I continue, let's say enter plant 1000, okay, here if you see there is a explant material status. If you want some value to come here by default, for this material type, you can maintain that here, so you have some list of values here. We will discuss about what is this material status in our later point of time. Okay, so that is a explant material status. If you want to come in the material master while creating a default, you maintain the value here. What is this material status? We will discuss. Now, reference material type. So when you are creating this material type, they created this material type with reference to this material type. That's all. Other than this, it doesn't have any function. Okay, now the next one, item category group. This is used in SD module, sales and distribution module, not relevant for us. So in the sales views, they have a field called item category group, normal. If they want that item category to come by default, they will maintain here. Suppose if I go to, suppose let me go back. Again, I will start freshly. Suppose if I'm trying to create, I'll select sales data, sales views. Okay, if I continue, distribution channel. Here you see item category group. It is coming by default norm, NORB, NORM. Why it is coming default means here they have maintained it as default here. So that is, and it is the importance of this field will be used in SD module, not relevant for us. So that is the item category. Now the next one is authorization group. This is used by basis team. So don't worry about this. This will be used by basis team. With quantity structure means whenever you use this material, okay, so the stock and values will get updated if you activate this checkbox. So by default you have to activate this checkbox. Check. Okay, next one, external number assignment without check. That means if you click on function F1 key that assigns a material, sorry, not this one, we are here. Okay, suppose if you press on F1, in case of external number assignment, this indicator tells the system not to check the material number entered on the screen against the number range. That means you have two types of number range, external or internal. So, but if you activate this checkbox, the number which you enter on the screen, it will not compare with the external number assignment range. So that is the use of it. Okay, now the next one is initial status. Initial status, this will be used in batch management. If you press F1, this indicator specifies that the initial status of the batch is restricted. It is used in batch management. Okay, so that time it will be the initial status. I'll deactivate this as of now. Okay, so these are the indicators. Now coming to the other one, material is configurable. That means this material type, the materials which are created with this material type can be used for variant configuration. Variant configuration is a separate module itself, normally used in SD module. Okay, separate module. So for that you have to activate this checkbox. Okay, next one, material is process material. Okay, suppose if you press F1, this one allows material of this material type to be defined as materials for a process in which there may be co-products. So this is used in PP module. So if they want to use co-products functionality, then they will activate this material type for the process industry. Okay, now pipeline, if this material is a pipeline material, then you have to activate this pipeline mandate. We already discussed what is pipeline material, like oil, water, gas. So those things we discussed. So for that material type, you will activate this pipeline mandatory. Now manufacturer part, I'll discuss later point of time. Okay, so these are the indicators. So now the next one we will be discussing is maintenance status for material master. So what views need to be maintained? Suppose let's say when you are creating the material master, what views needs to be maintained for a particular material? Okay, so those will come from this maintenance status for material. Suppose if you go to the next one, see, if you select accounting, then accounting 1 and 2 views will come while creating the material. If you select materials planning and MRP 1, 2, 3, 4 will come. If you select basic data, then basic data 1 and 2 will come while creating the material. Suppose I will show you here. If you go to the material, if you go to the configuration, here you see user department. Suppose if you see here, if you see here, work scheduling is selected, accounting is selected, classification is selected, MRP is selected. Suppose now the purchasing is also selected. That is why when I'm creating the material with FERT, I'll go back. Suppose again when I click on the button select views, see here the purchasing is also coming. Purchase order text is coming. So let's say I don't want this purchasing and purchase order text to come here. Okay, because it's a finished product. Normally there will not be purchasing, so I don't want this to come now. So what you need to do is you deselect this purchasing, deselect the purchasing. So once I deselect this purchasing, when I save it, next time when I create a material with this material type, this purchasing view will not come. So now I'm saving this. Okay, continue. Now you see, if I try to create now, select views. See, sorry, let us go back. Let's go back once. mm01. Okay, now click on select views. See, now the purchasing is not coming anymore. Here purchasing is not coming anymore. So this is how you will control which views needs to be maintained, which views needs not to be maintained. Suppose again if I select purchasing, selecting purchasing, then so in the purchasing section, in the purchasing section, those two views will be there. These three views will be there: purchasing, foreign trade import data, purchase order text. Those three tabs will come if you select purchasing. Okay, now again I selected the purchasing. I selected the purchasing. Now again I'm saving it. Okay, now if I go back, again go back, again mm01. Okay, so select views. See, again you are getting those views. Where you see purchasing, purchase order text, and foreign trade import data. Foreign trade import data. You are getting those three views again because we have now activated purchasing. So this is how which views has to come, which views has not to come while creating the material. You will configure through this maintenance status. This maintenance status. Okay. So next we will be discussing is number assignment for materials. So whenever you are creating a material, system will assign a unique number. System will assign a unique number. Okay. So for this material type, you will assign the number. Internal number range, external number range. So what you do, first you create a group. You create a group. In that group, you will assign a number range, both internal and external. And this in this group, you will assign the material type. So this is how the configuration. Suppose if I open a notepad file, okay, first you will create a group, number range group. Okay, so in this group you will maintain the interval like this. Now this group, in this group you maintain the material types. So let's say FERT, okay, ROH, HALB. You will maintain the, you will assign for this group, you will assign the material types. Okay, so accordingly in this group you will have the what do you call both. First you will assign the internal number group. You will create internal number range, external number range, external number range, and then this you will maintain in this group, and for this group you will assign the material type. So whenever you create a material with this material type, system will take the number from this. Okay, so I'll show you this. So let's go back. Okay, here define number ranges for each material type. Here if you go here, okay, here you have, first you have groups. Suppose if you go to groups, click on the display groups. Suppose I will go to a new one. If I go to overview, see this is the group. This is the group. NR for BMW, number range for BMW. This is the group. For this group they have assigned the interval, and in this group you have these material types. You have these material types. So now if you go to our FERT ZROH here, okay, we need to search. You need to search basically. So in that, so for a particular group they will assign the number range, and for that particular group they will assign the material types. So that's the configuration will work. Okay, that's how the configuration will work. So let's go back. So this is a one. If you want to change the groups, if you want to maintain a group, click on this maintain groups. You can create a new group here. Suppose create. Okay, so create a new group, 7 underscore new underscore group. Give a given group to it. Now here you maintain the number range. So let me maintain this one. Let's see whether we don't have any overlap or something. How many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 nines I will maintain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See, that's what it's already, this number range is there. That's why it is giving the overlap. Okay. Still overlap is there. So that's the problem. But anyhow, you maintain the number range here for this group, and then for this group you will assign the material types. So you maintain the group. In that group you can maintain both internal and external number range. Okay, and for this group you will assign the material type. So from that it will take the number. Okay, so that's how the number assignment will be done for the material. So this is the place where you do the configuration. Suppose if I go back, FERT, we need to search where is the FERT. It will take time because you have a lot of material types. That's a problem. Okay, we should search actually somewhere it will be. Okay, anyhow, that's how. So you have the group. Under the group, for the group you will assign the material number ranges, and then you will assign the material types. From that it will take the number. Okay, so that is the number assignment for the materials. Next we will be discussing is material status. So material status will tell you a particular material can be used in which areas, which applications, like in purchasing or BOM maintenance, routing in PP, or for production orders, for MRP. So those things you will maintain in the maintenance status. Okay, material status. Okay, so this material status you can maintain it. You can maintain at both levels. One is at client level. Client level. Next one is at plant level. You can maintain at both the places. Okay, so client level you will maintain in basic data view. Okay, view, and plant level you will maintain in MRP views. Okay, MRP view, I'll show you this. So this is a one. If I go back first, okay, so go to here, define material status. If you go here, okay, here if you see there is a status 01 blocked for procurement and warehouse. Suppose if I select this, go to details, see here for purchasing, if you see here, what is it? Error message. So whenever you want to purchase a material assigned with this material status 01, it will throw the error. Okay, so this is how, in which areas, for bombs how to do, for routings, for MRP, for production, all those things you will configure here, material status. So if you see here, this is the one. Control, error, warning, or no dialog. Suppose if you see here, if you maintain blank, system will not give you any message. If you maintain A, it will give you warning message. If you maintain as B, it will throw error message. So in our case, for purchasing, we maintain it as B. That means this material, with this material status, it will not be allowed to do any purchasing. So suppose if I go here, I'll take a material, MM6. I'll take the material which is already there in the system. Okay, so you have this material. Let's say we'll take this 8064. So go to 8064 material, MM02 8064. Okay, I will go to basic data 1 tab. Okay, here if you see, there is a field called explant material status. If you go to the list, Here I am entering 01, blocked for procurement or warehouse, or even you can enter BP also. Even for BP also, if you go to BP, also, BP status, BP blocked for purchasing. If you go to details, here also it is maintained as B, error message. So now I will activate for this material BP, blocked for purchasing. I activated for this material 8064, save it. Okay, now if I take this material, if I try to create a purchase order, ME21 here, okay, I enter the vendor, I enter the material 8064, let me enter some quantity 100 and plant 1000. Purchase organization. Okay, see, status blocked for purchasing of material does not allow external procurement. Because of that material status, it is not allowing purchasing. You are getting the error. You cannot create a purchase order. So that means you cannot do the procurement. So that kind of things you can control by through this define material status. If I remove the block, if I now remove the block, let's say if I remove the block, again I will go to MM02. Okay, let me go to basic data 1. If I remove this, now it will allow purchasing. Now it will allow to create the P. Okay, and this whatever we maintain it explain material status in basic data 1, it is applicable for all the plants. Applicable for all plants. Whereas if you maintain it plant level, suppose if I go to MRP1 view, plant 1000. Okay, here if you see, here also it is there, plant specific material status. If you maintain here, this block will be applicable only for this plant, not for other plants. So either you can maintain it client level material status, or you can maintain it plant level. So that is a material status. So that material status configuration, you can do it here. Define material status. If you want to create a new one, click on new entries. Okay, give the status name, and accordingly wherever you want to give the warning or error message, you can activate which areas: purchasing, production, bombs, routings, MRP, production here. Okay, plant maintenance, inventory management, warehouse management, wherever you want to block it in those applications, accordingly you will make. So this is the material status. Okay, next we will be discussing about field reference. Okay, field reference. So in material master, if you go to the material master MM02, if you go to the material master, suppose if I select basic data 1, if I remove old material number, if I try to go to next view, see, old material number has been made as mandatory, So which field has to be made mandatory, required, which field is optional, which field is display mode, which field will be hide. So those things are controlled by this field selection. Okay, field selection. So here how the configuration is works is, you have material type, so for the material type you will have field reference assigned to it. Okay, suppose if I go to material master, material type again, here define, go to basic settings again, here material types, define attributes of material type. So for every material type, do you want to display the locked data where it is locked? Just 1 minute, let us come out of this. Okay, just 1 minute. Let us log in again. SPR SAP reference IFG. Go to logistics general. Okay, material master. Okay, basic settings, material types. Okay, here define attributes of material types. Open this. Okay, you have the material type. Go to position, FERT, FERT. So select the FERT. If you go to details, here you see there is a field reference assigned. So you have, if you click on the list, you have a lot of field references here. So for the material type, they will assign a field reference. Suppose in our case, material type is FERT and the field reference also assigned is FERT. Now we will see this field reference. Suppose if you go back, if you go to field selection, just 1 minute. That's okay. That is okay. So now here what you need to understand is every material, every field, material master field, field will be assigned to a field selection group. Suppose if you see here, field selection group. Okay, I'll show you that. Suppose if you see here, let's say you have a field called size and dimension, standard description. There are some fields. So all these fields will be assigned to a field selection group. Suppose if we go here, in our case, I'll go to one material. Okay, if I go to M02, if I go to basic data 1, this is our fields: gross weight, net weight. Suppose if you go to this field, click on function F1. Okay, gross weight. Suppose if you go to this field, technical name, table is Mara, and the field is this one, BRGEW. Okay, so this is a table and field where that gross weight will get stored. Okay, gross weight will get stored. Okay, so now this field will be assigned to a field selection. Suppose if I take this, my field is this one. Okay, and this is the technical name and this thing. Okay, now this will be assigned to a field selection group. I'll show you what is a field selection group. So let's go to configuration. Okay, so here go to field selection. Here assigned fields to field selection groups. Suppose if you go here, what is our field? You need to search our field. What is our field? Mara BRGEW. So suppose if you go to Mara BR, just scroll down. Okay, if you scroll down, Mara BRGEW. So if you see here, Mara BRGEW, gross weight. So this is the field. Which has been assigned to field selection group 60. It has been assigned to a field selection group 60. So our field selection group is 60. So basically, particular group of fields will be assigned to a field selection group. So in that field selection group, you will have field references. Suppose if you go here, just 1 minute. Okay, so suppose if you go here, now for this field selection group, you will assign the field reference. Field reference. So first let's see the uh, field selection group. Suppose if you go here, you can click on this here. Directly you can click on this button. It will take you to the field selection group. Just click on that. See, in the field selection group 16, these are the fields grouped: gross weight, weight unit, net weight, splitting indicator. These things are grouped together. Okay, so now if you want to make all these fields required, mandatory, you will activate here required. So there are four options: hide, display, required entry, optional entry. So now for this field selection group, you will have the field reference. So suppose if you see here, these are the fields assigned to a field selection group, and for this field selection group you will have the field reference. So in our case, our field reference was FERT. So now for this field selection group you will have a field reference, field reference, field reference. So it is FERT. So this is how it is configured. So you see, now factors of influence, again you have at material type level, transaction level, all those things. Suppose if you see here for this field selection group, let's go to FERT. Our field selection group, our field reference is FERT. So click on the button position FERT. If you go to the FERT, see, for the FERT, all are optional, all are optional entry. That's why when we are creating it, all are optional. Suppose if I'm creating it mm01, when I'm creating it, if you go to basic data 1, see, here all are optional, all are optional, all are not mandatory, optional. So if you want to make it mandatory, you at the field reference level, all these fields you have to make it required entry. The moment you make this required entry, all the fields will become required entry, not only this one. Whatever the fields are there in this field selection group, all those will become mandatory. So that's how you will do the which field has to be mandatory, which field has to be optional, which field has to be in display mode, grayed out mode, which field has to be hide. If you want to hide a field, you can do field hide also. So this is how the configuration is built up. Okay, now the influencing factors for field selection. Field selection I have shown you only, field reference I have shown you only for material type, but this can be done at transaction level, industry sector level, plant level, even procurement indicator, and even SAP delivery. Delivery means the type of industry. For SAP retail, you can have some other one. SAP process industry you can have. So the influencing factors are all those this one. But I showed you first material type. You can have some other ones also. Suppose if you go to transaction level also you can do. Suppose if I go to field reference here, if you go here, see transaction level also you can do. See MM01, MM01 transaction level. It is optional. But if you go to MM03, MM03, it is in display mode. It will be in display mode. All are display mode. All fields will be in display mode. So for MM03, everything will be displayed. Okay, you can do it by material. What do you call? Transaction level also, material type level also. You can do it at industry sector level. You can maintain field reference. Suppose if you go back, I'll show you industry sector level. See, define industry sector and industry sector specific field selection. Suppose if you go here, see, for chemical industry, for let's say mechanical engineering, what is the field reference? M maintained. Now this M, you will maintain there the field reference. Again I will go. Again if you go to, if you go here, sorry, not here. Here, if you go to our 16, if you maintain 16, here you will have that field reference. M. See, M is there. M is there. M is there. Okay, so or you can maintain it plant level also. Field reference you can maintain it plant level. Okay, so I'll show you that. So go back. Suppose let's go to plant here. Define plant specific field selection and plant specific screen selection. Suppose if you go here, what is our plant 1000? For the plant 1000, what is a field reference assigned? 0001. 0001. So if you go to 0001, again go to our assign fields to field selection groups. Sorry, this one, second one. If you go here, let us go to 16 with the one which we discussed. Okay, now here you see field reference is there. So field reference you can maintain at transaction level, material type level, industry sector level, plant level, even procurement indicator level, SAP delivery level. So you can maintain at these places. So now when you maintain that, you see this is what we discussed. Okay, so you have the material fields, those fields are assigned to a field selection group, and for this field selection group, for the material type level you will assign the field reference, and at this combination you will maintain it is required, mandatory, optional. You can maintain. See, for the same field selection group 14, for material type it is plus, you have to enter, whereas optional, whereas transaction level for the same field selection group it is mandatory. Like this you can maintain. Okay, this is the one we discussed. So this is the one influencing factor. Material type level, you for the material type you will assign the field reference, and this field reference will be assigned to the field selection. That's what plant level, industry sector. But these three levels you can change it. You can change it if you want, but transaction level, procurement indicator level, SAP delivery level, you cannot change it. It is not possible to change. You have to use only SAP standard ones. You will not supposed to change. Okay, so this is the one. If it is dash means field is hidden, star means field is only displayed, which means that no entry is possible. No entry is possible. Plus means field will become mandatory, which means entry must be made, and star means dot means field is optional, which means an entry may be made, optional. Okay, so these are the field attributes for the maintenance. Now the next one is field attributes and link rules. Suppose for the field selection for raw material, ROH, is you have a different setting, and for industry sector, same field selection, you have a different setting. So now which one has to take the priority? So system will always take priority from left to right, So always hidden will be taking the first priority. For star, next displayed will be taking the second priority, mandatory will be the third priority, and optional will be the fourth priority. That means, let's say you have a field selection group 40, let's say 40. Okay, now at material type level you maintain it as optional, but at plant level, let's say you made it as mandatory. Now which system has to take priority? Okay, so that will be decided through this one, this left to right link rules. So always the one with hidden will be taken first priority. Okay, and the next one star will be taken second priority. That means display mode. Then mandatory one will be taking third priority, and option will be taking the fourth priority. This is how it will take. So this is a priority. Okay, so this is attributes and link rules. Okay, now the next one we will be discussing about is lock relevant fields. In the material master, you have the option of locking certain fields. Suppose if you see here, I have a material base unit of measure. I want to make it lock. So in the configuration, you can make the material field as a lock relevant. If you make it as a lock relevant, when you are creating the material or changing the material, you can lock that particular material. If you lock it, next time onwards it will be display mode. You cannot change the material, that value unless and until you will reverse the lock. Okay, so that you can do. So I will show you lock relevant fields. Suppose if you go to configuration, I'll come out of this. Okay, let me log in again. Okay, go to SPRO, SAP reference IMG. Go to logistics general. Go to material master. Okay, here define lock relevant fields. Define lock relevant fields. If you go here, suppose let's say I'll go to Mara. Okay, what is a material group? Just 1 minute. MM02. If I go to basic data 1, suppose let's say you have this material group. Suppose press on F1, go to technical details, technical information. What is a field? MATKL. MATKL. This I want to lock it. This I want to lock it. So what you have to do? Here go to Control F. Mara. What is the field? MATKL. So this is the one. If you want to make this field for lock relevant, activate this checkbox. Activate this checkbox, save it. Okay, done. Okay, now when you go to the material master, suppose if I go back again, I will go to change mode. If you select basic data 1, now this material group is there. Put the cursor on the material group. Here you see on the top there is a button, lock 1. So just click on that button. Okay, so now this material group field will get locked. Yes, I want to lock it. Just click on the button lock. Now it will get locked. See, it is in display mode now. Save it. Okay, yes. So next time if I go to change mode, see, the material is locked. It is now in display mode. Unless and until somebody can unlock it, this field will be in display mode. Nobody can change the value. Okay, so now if you want to unlock it, just click on the button unlock the material. Just click on this button. Again, so somebody has to have authorization to unlock it. So just click on the button unlock material. So now it will get unlocked. So put the cursor on the field name unlock. Now see, it got unlocked. Now it is in editable mode. So that also you can do. So you can lock a particular field. Now save it. Yes. Okay, and whether it is allowed for locking or not, you will do it in the configuration field wise. So again, I will go back to the original settings. I'm removing it. Save it. Okay, so this is how the material master customization will work. Okay, so